Hey guys, Adam Fennig here, Fennig Equipment. You're tuned into the Talking Shed. Today we're inside and we're talking about which rate controller is best for you. Now that's a broad statement because it depends so much on what you're doing. Dry, liquid, what type of display you have. But let's break it down from the most basic standpoint. We've got ISO rate controllers that plug into the back of your tractor. That requires a John Deere 2630, Gen 4, Pro 700, Ag Leader, you name it. You have to have a display to go with these ISO rate controllers. ISO means this rate controller has got the brains housed inside of it. Your display up in the tractor is just reading those brains. So this is what actually makes that applicator function. It controls the sections. It controls the flow and the rate and does all of the math with your applicator or spreader. Your display does the mapping, takes care of the speed input, and knows your implement width, the distance from the globe to the axle, so that it can accurately map and shut off those sections. So let's start at the most basic. We've got a Raven 450, one of the easiest to use, most surefire rate controllers ever designed. Once you know their language, it doesn't get any simpler or reliable than this. Now, some people are going to laugh at that statement and say, oh, I threw those away 30 years ago and now I'm on the John Deere SF2 5000. That's great, but when it comes to ease of use, and if you don't want to be down due to an electrical glitch or the sun and the moon not being aligned properly, the Raven 450 is where you need to go. If you just need to do some spraying and some rate control, this thing cannot be beat. Put in your boom widths, flip your master switch to turn it on. I love how you have control of this. Turn the master on, it should go. Hit rate 1, you'll be putting out your rate 1. I have a lot of videos that walk through how to set these up, and I love the Raven 450 for a bulletproof way to get something going. Sprayer, applicator, anything that you don't have to map with or do auto sections, let's run to the Raven. On the same token, we cannot forget about the Micro-Trak SprayMate Plus. These two stand side by side. They each offer a couple different features. You're definitely going to get more support out of the factory and the company from the Micro-Trak SprayMate Plus. Us here at Fennig Equipment, we've set up a lot of planters this way. Where we use this one a lot is with electric pumps on planters. If you're running in furrow or even 2x2 with an electric pump, they make a phenomenal electric motor driver that is set up through this display. It's small, fits nice up in the cab, so accurate. It's got sections up top, a great way. You can also implement a whisker switch. So I would talk about these in the same. If you don't need to map and you want something that is extremely bulletproof, we need to be focusing on these right here. It's hard to screw up, and if you're a little bit leery about rate controllers, maybe you have a ground drive today and you want to get up to a automatic rate controller with a speed input, when you call in and talk to Cody or I about the best option, we need to look here. So this is kind of where we're starting. And both of these are going to be on the liquid side. Now Micro-Trak also does make a dry version of this as well. You can actually control planters with this. If you want to control a drill or a dry fertilizer applicator, it can be done with both of these systems as well. From here, we're going to walk over to the ISO rate controllers. This is the ISOBus T-Jet. If you own a BBI spreader from us that's ISO, it likely has this on here. Now from time to time, we'll put a John Deere dry rate controller on there, but typically this is what's on there. That is because BBI and T-Jet teamed up and they designed a rate controller specifically to match the BBI spreader. You get product support from Salford. You get product support from us. We know that rate controller. We know its accuracies. So whenever you buy a spreader and want to put a John Deere system on it, we can do that. But at that point, we lose the ability to accurately troubleshoot that rate controller if we don't fully know it. and that's mainly the RC2000. So dry rate controller cannot be beat. If you have a Chandler spreader, any type of spreader, and you want to accurately go ISO, pick up the T-Jet IC18 or IC38. From there, one of my favorite liquid ISO rate controllers on the market today, John Deere Green Star rate controllers. Now, all the John Deere guys that work for John Deere or are selling equipment are just cringing right now, because they're pushed to sell the RC2000. It's the greatest thing ever designed, and it might be for shareholders. But if you want to actually have a rate controller that's easy to use, easy to run, very well thought out, very well designed, easy to walk through, the Green Star rate controller can't be beat. It's got great troubleshooting features. It's got a lot of diagnostics. The setup features are ideal. If you have got a John Deere 2630 or Gen 4 and you want to run liquid product ISO, we're going here all day long. The RC2000 has got a lot of extra built-in features on it that really aren't necessary for that application, and so I'm going to point you here all day long. It's our most popular rate controller. We keep these in stock and we put them on planters and side dress applicators. Now, this is basically the John Deere RC2000 and the new Raven RCN. They are basically the same thing. They are a very powerful controller. They can do liquid and dry. They've got unlocks to the moon. Unfortunately, for me, it's just a little too much. There's a lot of features in here where you can screw something up real quick. They're trying to do too much with one module, in my opinion. Support can kind of lack from time to time, and it's not one that I like to push on people who aren't extremely familiar with that rate controller. I've used the Raven for liquid and get along just fine. If a guy wants to just do liquid rate control with that Raven, I'm on board. You get outside of that, and I get a little far gone. So this is a breakdown of which rate controller works best for you, and that's for you to decide. I kind of walk through the different tiers and different levels of what all these rate controllers can do, and it's for you to decide what display do you have in your cab. Do you have to map? Like, do you really have to map? Like, not do you want to see a map, but do you have to map? Because if you don't have to map your product applying, boy, these things are pretty handy and they're nice. If you have to map and you have ISO capabilities, Green Star on dry, ISO T-Jet on, or Green Star on liquid, ISO T-Jet on dry. So we set up a lot of equipment here at Fennig Equipment with rate controllers. Those are some of our options. We have a few more, and I urge you to give us a call. We can easily set you up with an automatic rate controller. We would be happy to do so. So that's what we're doing today, talking about which rate controller is best for you. There are a lot of options out there on the market. It's going to come down to your support. Thanks for tuning in.